Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are on for another live video. I've been talking literally all day, so I was like, I have to go live for my 14 days of live and 14 days of vulnerability. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the woman inside of my Soulful Sales Accelerator, I was like, we're going to do a 14-day live video challenge, and everyone's like, I'm in. And then when I was talking on Instagram, I was like, we should do like a 14-day vulnerability challenge as well. I'm going to shut off this light a little bit, where we're all just like sharing our stories and sharing what's coming up for us and just going like one step deeper with our audience. So this is kind of where that idea came from, is really allowing ourselves to, like I said, go one step deeper. Like when your audience wants to be able to connect with you, and the people that are following you, they want to be able to buy from you. They're buying from you because it's you. They're buying from you because of your energy. They're buying from you because of who you are and how you're showing up, and if they can relate with you, and if they can know, like, and trust you. And you going deeper by sharing pieces of your story and sharing pieces of who you are, and asking yourself pretty consistently and saying, like, okay, like, am I going all the way, or am I kind of like all in and like kind of like 1 foot out and 1 foot in the door, and I'm in when I'm in when it's convenient, but I'm not in when it's not convenient, or when things are getting hard, or if I have to level up, or whatever that is. And so that's what this challenge is really all about. It's like letting people see all the pieces of you, so they feel like they can, want to be able to connect with you. They feel like they want to be able to show up. They want to be able to be in your energy, and they can't do that. People can't buy from a personal brand unless they know you, and unless they have that connection with you. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Em. So today we're kind of chatting a little bit about like pivoting in your business, and about transitioning and going through all the different feelings and the things that are coming up for you. And of course, like I said, I'm going to share this from, my perspective as well, of really understanding, like, in my business, like, what's been lighting me up, and maybe where I want to like shift and transition a little bit. So this is something that I think is really good to evaluate, like at every level with your business, and saying, like, okay, is what I'm teaching upon still lighting me up? Are the things that I want to do, the programs that I'm running, the way that I'm running my business, the way that I may be doing my courses, or the way that I'm doing my one-on-one coaching, am I still in alignment with it? Because we all like get to change. We all get to decide how we run our businesses. Like, you are the CEO of your business, so you get to decide, all right, I'm either still enjoying this program, I'm not enjoying this program as much, or I really want to coach upon this topic, or I really want to dive deeper here, or maybe I don't feel like I want to run a live course anymore, and I want to run, some of like the programs that I've done with like a more module based again. You get to decide how you want to run your business. Just because everybody around you is running, programs this way or that way, or this way or that way, like, you get to decide, like, okay, you know what, I'm really feeling lit up to, go this direction in my business, or I'm really feeling lit up to more so talk about this, or I really want to, work with people on a really, really deep level, and I want more of my like courses that I've done, or whatever that may be, to be a little bit more passive. Like, you get to show up, and as your business changes, and as you learn more things, and as you add more modalities, and as you serve more, more people, and you get clear on your message, like, you're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to add in another like pillar of your brand. You're allowed to do things differently. Like, you are not committed to having to do one certain thing like one certain way. Or if you want to start talking about something else that has been a huge part of your life, then do it. And like I said, this is like part of like sharing my story too, is something that I realized lately. I was like, I want to have more like time freedom. I run a lot. I really hope I didn't flash you guys. I really hope that, or I really wanted to, start doing some of the programs that I've done before, and making them more, passive, where I've done these amazing live videos, but I can't run every single program of mine live and be able to like still keep my energy. Like, I'm a projector, like, that makes me tired after a while. And I know the first time that I do something, I bring a lot of fire, I bring a lot of energy, and I bring a lot of like really good stuff. And so like I decided, I was like, okay, you know what? I want to shift on how I'm running some of like my more teaching programs. So even something that I did recently with one of my Burn Out the Sellout programs that I run, is I took all the modules from the last time that were straight fire. I was like, I don't feel like saying the same thing again with that. So I was like, let me take all those, repurpose them, put them inside of Kajabi, and have them where people get access to them them, on a weekly basis where they're following along. And then I was adding in Q&A modules, and I was adding in like some new bonus content. And I'm doing that with a couple other of my programs too, because that's what felt good. I used to run it where like everything was live, everything was, I was saying a lot of the same things over and over again, but I was like, I'm feeling really more called to shift and, transition my business in this way. And I was, feeling the call to, also do things and like create some more passive streams of income. So my business has transitioned and evolved. Like back, like I'd say like 2 years ago, I was running a lot of passive stuff. I was running a lot of like pre-recorded stuff. And then I felt a really big call to do more like live stuff as far as like the teaching piece of it. I was always doing like one-on-one coaching and like, deeper stuff like that. And then it's funny because it's like a transition, like we kind of always are transitioning again based on like what feels good to us and what feels good to you. And guess what? Like you can decide at any given moment that maybe you want to run something live, or maybe you want to run something where it's passive and you're jumping in and there's a Facebook component of it or whatever. Like you can choose and go with the flow, and you might have a little bit of both. You might have a little bit of active, you might have some passive streams of income. Like we all know it's good to have different ways to do things, and we all learn differently, and it's good for your audiences to be able to do that too. And so that was something that I struggled with personally, where I was like, ooh, but I've been doing so much of it live, and I've been doing so many other different things. I'm like, well, it's all still really good information. Everybody's still going to get a major transition and a major breakthrough. And it's such good shit. Just because I'm like not saying it over and over again, like then I needed to know that I needed to do that. And some people can do that over and over and it feels really good to them. So you have to ask yourself, like, what feels good to me? Like, do I need to like transition with coaching, or do I need to transition maybe my pricing to be able to work with people on a deeper level? If that's what your soul is calling you to do. And I know some people, I have some friends that all they do is one-on-one coaching, and like that feels good for them. So what this like live is really about is for you to take a moment and say, like, how do I want to run my business? How do I want to run my programs? How do I want to run my coaching practice? What feels good to me in this moment? Where do I maybe want to make some transitions or some shifts or some pivots? And how do I want to show up for it in that way and allow yourself to do that? Because guess what? You decided to be a business owner, so you didn't have to listen to anybody else's rules but your own. And so you can say, you know what? Like, this is what my soul's calling me to do for this program. This is what my soul's calling me to do for this. And you can make those transitions and decide that. Something else that I was going through as well is where I was kind of thinking, I'm like, do I want to transition my one-on-one coaching? So I do one-on-one coaching usually in like a 3, 6, or 9 month container. I have found that 90% of people end up, working with me after that 3-month period. So I was like, I'm really feeling called to do it where it's just 6 or 9 months. And then, there's other different ways that people can work with me if they want to work with me on like a shorter term basis, or they want to get to know me. I like to have multiple different ways that people can do that. So that's something that, I'm working through and deciding as well that I'm going to be transitioning into. And so guess what? We always get to decide. We always get to show up for our businesses in a way that feels really good for us, and we get to transition and pivot and shift and do things. And if you feel that like call in like your heart, and you're like, I know that I need to add this pillar, I know I need to talk about this thing, or I know that I don't want to do this anymore and I want to do that instead, then this is how you want to be able to grow in your business, and you want to be able to take things to the next level, is by following the things that are going to light you up so you can show up for it. And someone was asking me inside of one of my programs, inside of Burnout to Sellout, 2 days ago, yesterday, I can't remember, and they're like, what do you do when you're not feeling motivated? And the truth is, if you're not feeling motivated to show up and like work in your business and do the things that you want to be able to do, you've lost some sort of deeper connection to the long-term goal. You've lost some of the deeper connection to that longer vision, because it should light you up. Like, yeah, you're gonna have times where you're not feeling as creative and like you're human and you're just kind of like, I need a day or a week to breathe. But that's a little bit different. If you're kind of feeling like, like I'm in when I'm kind of in, and I'm not in when, I'm in when things are good, but I'm not in when things are bad. Like, you got to connect into like the bigger vision and where you're going. And I find this a lot too with people who are scaling in their business. So if you made some money in your business and you're taking to the next level, one of the things that I realized even too for myself was, when I wasn't, and I was making, high 5-figure months in my business, and I was stepping into that level, when I remember like last year when I hit my first 10K, and I was like, oh, this, like, wow, like this is amazing. And I was still like on that, like running, I was building, I was like growing, I was doing all these different things and that energy. And I was trying to get out of the place essentially that I was in. I wanted to be able to have more financial abundance. I wanted to be able to, serve more people. I wanted to be able to, get a, bigger apartment, all these different things. And then I wanted to feel more of that like freedom inside of me too, and not feel much of that stress and that overwhelm and all of those different things, which, sidetrack, making more of an income doesn't change that. And I think there's a lot of internal beliefs and all these things that you have to work through at every single level. And then, we can sometimes hit these comfort phases, or we can hit these phases like these lulls of our energy. And it's just because we have to connect back to our bigger vision, our bigger purpose, and thinking about like where we want things to be able to go over a lifetime. So even recently, I was like, okay, like what is my bigger vision, my bigger purpose? Like I want to be able to have retreats. I want to be able to have an event. I want to be able to finish my book that I've been writing for forever. I want to be able to impact people. I want to heal more people. I want to add in more modalities of the way that I serve people. I want to be able to have more freedom to like travel and more of that time flexibility and all these different things. So at every level, like your desires change, and desires are not always like external things, like you get like at all. Like there are a lot of like the internal things and the feelings that you want to be able to have. So you always are adjusting with your business. And if you're ever feeling that lack of motivation, it's like, all right, how can I tap into the bigger vision? Like, what do I not just want to do like in 2 months, but what do I want to do in a year? What do I want to do in 5 years? What do I want to do in 10 years? And starting to get your energy behind that, instead of just looking at like the short term of what can I do in this next little bit, but like, where do I want to be able to go in years and years from now? What's the impact that I want to make? How do I want to show up? And allowing your business to reflect that. I have a lot of clients that are moms. I have a lot of clients who have multiple children too, and are in relationships, or they work full time, or they do all these different things, or they just have became moms, or whatever that looks like for them. And their desires, and everybody's desires, change over time. A lot of that is like, I want to be able to stay home, I want to be able to have more time freedom, and things change for them. And everything looks different at every single level is what I'm trying to say. So you have to allow yourself to grow with your business, and know that like what you're seeing somebody else doing might not be what feels good for you, and that if it doesn't feel good for you, that it's not the end all be all. Like we can definitely all empower each other in an online space to do things in a way that feels good for us, but also check in with yourself and say like, does this feel good for me? Do I want to run this differently? And not doing anything because you feel like you have to, but doing things because like you want to and because you get to. So always checking in with your vision, always checking in with where you're going, with who you're being, with what's coming up for you, with what's lighting you on fire to talk about, to speak about, and to run with that, because that's where you're going to find yourself like jumping timelines, like playing in the quantum field, letting things come to you is when you're going with what lights you up. So I love you all. Hello, Kelly. M says project your life. I love it. Yes, trying to figure out if I want to run my first program live or module based. And guess what? Like whatever's feeling good for you in that moment. And you can always play with one and then do another version of it the next time, or try it one time this way, or run it live for the first time and then record it, make it passive, or just always make it passive, or always make it live. Like you get to choose. Just kind of let it sit with you and say, what's feeling really good for me to do right now? How do I want to show up for these people? How do I feel like holding space? What makes sense with my energy? Where do I feel like I can serve them the most and serve myself the most, and then go with that. So yay. I love you all. Happy day. This is my second day of doing this challenge. I hope that helped me, or helped you guys. If I can talk, that'd be great. I hope it helped you guys understand like at every level, there's a new level. We're always like transitioning and shifting in our business. We're always, deep diving into where it is that we want to be able to go, and that you have to follow that, and you have to allow yourself to know that that's okay. So I love you all so much. Thank you for jumping on, and we'll chat tomorrow. Goodbye.